know we've asked you about carries a couple times the last few weeks, and you're probably sick of it. But given Smoke's injury, how has that played out in practice this week? How's that kind of looking?
Well, you got Jaton and Travis that all pull up and worked a little bit, both of them today. So those guys will get those extra reps. I'll kind of make a decision based upon how they do during the week, who the first guy would be in.
All right, John Hill.
Eddie, how has Akeem Hayes kind of progressed over the years since you recruited him out of high school to not playing a lot the last 2 years, kind of waiting his turn and now making an impact?
Yeah, you know what? It's been kind of nice to see that process with him because, he had done some things just academically that weren't our standards, and to be quite honest, he was on his way out, and he turned it around. Had a heck of a summer. He's had I think 2 3.0s in a row, and just kind of got his act together. And so, he's contributing now, getting better every day. And, that's the hard part about, that position. Everybody wants the ball, and if you just sow your seeds, like coaches always talked about, things are going to pay off. And he's starting to get a little bit of that, taste of some success, which has been really good for the young man.
Lonnie Demery.
Eddie, your running game is unparalleled and very, very effective. And so I don't think anyone's going to expect you to all of a sudden become a passing team. However, what I wanted to ask you is this. Given the low volume of passes that you do throw, I'm sure you want to complete all of them. So who aside from Josh Ali would be a 50-50 ball kind of guy for you?
Well, you've got, our tight ends, Keaton and Justin and Brendan. Akeem's coming along. Those are the guys. That's who we have right now. And, DeMarcus had a couple tough drops. And today he came back and had a really good practice. Don't want him to lose confidence. Nobody's not believing in him. And, I think, you say we're a running team. I thought we were pretty balanced in terms of what they were giving us. So, he threw the ball 18 times. So we had 2 drops. He had a chance to be 16 for 18. I don't think I wouldn't take that. I would take that every single week. Now, if there's a week, and there's probably going to be one where we're going to have to throw it more. You do what the defense gives you, and I think that's what our kids did this last weekend, and our coaches had a heck of a game plan, and I thought they executed it well most of the time. We had our blunders, and we've got to get those fixed because we had more opportunities to score and we didn't, and that's on me.
All right, Barkley Truax. Go ahead, Barkley.
All right, so I want to look forward to Saturday a little bit. So what are your thoughts of Mississippi State's their defense's ability to stop the run, and how does that open up the passing game on Saturday?
Yeah, it's kind of different than what we just saw. These guys are giving up, I think, 2.8 yards per carry versus LSU and 1.8 versus an Arkansas team. So they're only giving up 71 yards. So it'll be a heck of a challenge. They're different in everything they do schematically than anybody we see on our schedule. So this is a huge challenge for us up front on the perimeter. And, we're going to have to throw the football against these guys. I really do believe that. And I think you have to, at any time, you have to be, effective throwing the ball when you do. But I think more so against these guys for sure. Cannot get behind the chains. That's where they thrive. They play hard. They do a good job schematically. And there's a ton of movement all the time. There is not a play where you do not have movement on that defense.
Derek Terry.
Eddie, it sounded like yesterday Mark is expecting Bryce Oliver to most likely play this weekend. How important will it be to get him back and give Terry another option out there in the passing game?
Yeah, I agree with you. If you can get all those guys back and you got a vertical threat, it certainly helps, and it certainly helps the confidence of Terry.
Nick Roush?
To follow up on the defense, last year you faced a similar 3-3-5 against UT Martin. It took a little while to get things going, but how do you think the offense responded? Does that experience help before going into this game?
Yeah, I think it does help, but it's a totally different 3-3-5. They're a lot different than that team. This is unique in every way. So coverages, where they line up, where they put some of their safeties, upfront movement, blitzes, exotic blitzes. So it's a little bit different than that defense you're talking about.
John Hale?
Eddie, obviously nobody is saying it's acceptable, but have you gotten an explanation from AJ on what exactly happened on the long run when he looked back, what he was thinking in that situation?
It wasn't. I mean, obviously he wasn't thinking. He feels awful. I addressed it there at the game, and it's just inexcusable.
Okay, next is Kent Spencer.
Yeah, Eddie, with Smoke out, you kind of mentioned this week in practice, you guys, you're working Duton and Travis in there as well. But in a game, do you think maybe you'll just kind of, since having that three-headed monster, you just maybe use Chris and AJ just a whole lot more and give those guys more touches?
I think so. I mean, I think you go into it and we'll see how they're doing physically in a game always. And, but I'm excited about those two youngins, and I'm excited to see how they're going to approach practice, approach the, learning your opponent and really understanding what the game plan is going to be at the end of the week. So I'm not afraid to put one of them in, but you would definitely assume that those two guys are going to be carrying most of the load for sure.
Nick Roush?
Mike Drenin was the guy we heard about not a lot as a recruit and early in camp, but having as of late. Is he close to playing, and what does he have to do to find the field?
Well, he's got to make sure that every single day, it's like AJ. Everybody asked me the question with AJ when he first got here, why isn't AJ playing, and they always ask, why these freshmen aren't playing. There can be a number of reasons. It can be their maturation process of learning stuff. That's not Michael's issue. He is smart as a whip. It takes time. Sometimes it's getting bigger, stronger, and learning it in the speed of the game. I think he's got a chance to help us sometime this year if he keeps continuing to be consistent. The biggest thing is just consistency. Those big guys, I think a year this next fall with Coach Ed in the weight room is going to be unbelievable for him. This young man is talented, and I'm excited about him.
Jerry Graves?
Eddie, what is Chris Rodriguez? How different do you think he's running this year? And could you see what he's doing now kind of coming on toward the tail end of last season?
Yes, you're exactly right. That's kind of how he was running at the end of the last season. I thought he ran the ball angry. He really ran angry, and I loved it. And that's kind of how he was his last 4 or 5 games of the season last year as he started to crank it up.
Jeff Drummond?
Hey, Eddie, I'm wondering what your thoughts are on the offensive line's performance so far. Is there any area that you're really pleased about with that bunch?
Yeah, I am. I mean, I think for about 6 series in the Auburn game, I thought we held our own and then some at times. And again, I said it last week, it's a little bit about finishing. When you rush the ball for 400 yards this last week, they're doing a lot of things really well. But it's the old cliche. A coach always talks about it, that you just don't know that one play. Somebody gets beat. We got to continue to get better at pass protection, the twist pickup, all the things that John works on every single day. But you just don't know when that's going to happen. Each week we've had some really big plays out there and some opportunities. We're talking about touchdowns, and one person here, whether it be the tight end, whether it be the running back, whether it be the O-line, somebody breaks down and the play doesn't happen. So that's what we're really trying to concentrate on. That, man, if you have 78 plays, we're going to try to be perfect. We're going to strive for perfection, though, and darn well we're not going to get there. But man, we got to be better. We can't leave those points out there.